Hey y'all, it's Blaze, back with some more One Piece TCG content. Today we're going to be doing another full-scale market watch. We haven't really done one in a couple weeks, definitely not since OP14 came out of the pre-sale bubble that we initially saw and that I covered about a week ago. So I want to just kind of go in and do a dive on where the market's at right now, including all the OP14 stuff. Did stuff go up? Did it come down? How much of a dip was there? All that. Also, as well, I was going to announce the winner of the Gear 5 giveaway today, but this video was supposed to come out 2 days ago, and because of stuff with my birthday party logistics, I had like a bunch of DJs from out of town come in because like I'm also a musician and I want to have music stuff for my birthday party, so they had to like go get picked up. So when I thought I would be able to record this video, I was driving back and forth between where I'm at and the city. So that ended up taking a long time, a lot of traffic, and then there's a huge snowstorm. So stuff kind of got pushed back. But I want to give y'all a little bit more time because I know that there's a lot of people who mainly watch my market content. You do still have a little bit more time to win this Gear 5 card. I'm going to announce the winner either like tomorrow or the next day, depending on how this video does. But it's going to be really soon, definitely before the end of the month. So get those like, comment, subscribe entries in soon. Anyway, so things are still pretty insane in the One Piece market at the moment. We've got cases continuing to climb. Some of these really top cards, like the red Luffy manga, hitting record sales. I don't believe you see it on here, but I know on eBay a PSA 10 of these sold for over $15,000, I believe, which is absolutely crazy. The gold stamped Luffy continues to go up. We just saw a near mint foil sell for close to $7,000 recently. So the growth is still not really burning out. We're not seeing like the massive gains that we were before, but it's really continuing to go up. And some of even these new cards, are going pretty hard. This buggy, it's not seeing any kind of huge drop. This gold buggy from OP14, we're still seeing consistent sales in the $2,600-$2,700 range. Not really any like major drop here. Current lowest listed is at 28. Pretty nuts. The gold foil Luffy is continuing to go up. PSA tag 10s going for over $10,000. Pretty much any major 10. Well, okay, PSA 10. Yeah, that was over a month ago, though. So now a near mint's going for almost what close to a PSA 10 was previously, which is nuts. The silver Luffy's seen like a massive increase as well. This Mihawk manga. So now that we're out of the pre-release kind of hype cycle phase for OP14, we are starting to see some stabilization on stuff like the Mihawk. I didn't think this was like a super strong manga, so I'm not surprised to see it, but it's still close to 1,500. Like it came down from, selling at like 16, 17, but we're still seeing sales at the $1,500 range every single day, which is really wild. I'll be interested to see if this goes back up again or if we get a reprint and what happens there. The Gear 2 continuing to go crazy. I mean, I think people are starting to really understand how insane of a card this is. We're seeing the jump for near mint foils from late December into January here is double, if not more than double. People are buying these at 5,000. Just saw one sell at 6.5 thousand, and this is raw. So the graded value of this card is just going to get even higher as well. Current lowest listed is 5.5 for a lightly played foil. Nearest Lowest near mint foil listed at 18K. Obviously, I don't think people are going to buy this at 18K, but it goes to show like how undervalued this card was previously. I have been predicting that this card was going to see movement like this for a while now, and well, I mean, here you go. You can see it there. It is going way, way, way up, and it doesn't seem like that's a card that's going to stop anytime soon. The boa as well is still seeing some growth. It's leveling off a little bit around the like 2.5K range for near mint, which I think makes sense. I mean, this is not like a manga that people were going insane for previously until this kind of like massive boa hype started, but I think this makes sense. Same kind of deal with the Shanks. The Shanks is kind of leveled off at around like the 2K and under. Actually, it seems like these are starting to go back down a little bit. This is a really good one. This is a really good condition one. 1600. I mean, that compared to what we were saying before, where they're selling for over 2K, it does seem like, and these are English? Good condition. Okay, well, this has some damage at the top. Actually, that is not near mint. Was the other one? This one was near mint, yeah. Let's take a look. Any like noticeable... This picture is not the best, but I don't see any super noticeable whitening. But regardless, it seems like this is actually coming down a little bit. Some of these are like leveling out. Some of them are kind of starting to chill. The Gold Teach has seen pretty significant growth, it looks like. Yep, we're reaching almost 2K for near mint here. And the current lowest listed is over 3K. This Gold Teach card, this was always kind of destined to do this, in my opinion. It's another one where I told y'all I thought this was going to happen a few weeks back, mid-December, and there you go. We're seeing it there. That was a highly undervalued card. People didn't really understand that that set had the value in it that it did. Looking at the OP14 Manga Luffy, we are seeing sales. You're in at 2K. Wow, I think you bought that way too high there, my guy. But yeah, sales at like 1300, 12 to 1300, I think makes sense for this card. I think if you're paying like close to 2K, that's a little wild. 14, maybe, sure. It is a Manga Luffy, but I don't think it's one that, you know, people are in love with. The Ace, seeing around 12, 1400. These Three Brothers cards all seem to be kind of in that range. I'm going to come back to that SP, but we should see... No, it's not 18. Yeah, so the Sabo also around 1300 or so. I actually just recently picked one of these up. I like this card a lot. This, to me, feels like... The Ace and the Sabo, I think, both have, like, good room to grow. Near mint foil, sold at 1K. I will tell you straight up, this is not the highest, most recent sale because I am probably the highest, most recent sale for this card. It was more than that. Over 1,000. So this card's going for, you know, over 1,000, closer to 1,200. 12, 1,300. The Teach is in an interesting position. These are marked crazy high. They're pretty bought out, but I don't think anyone's really buying that high. For lightly played, well, wow, near mint 17. 1,200. Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely... The Teach is another one that I think was previously pretty undervalued and is just going up a ton. Obviously, the OP-05 mangas are all going nuts. One thing that's been wild to see is this Regionals Top 64 Nami here. Absolutely gorgeous card. I've already shown this off and flexed this card. Lowest listed right now, 2,200. Consistent sales at 1,600 over the past month. I think this is a card that's going to keep going up and up. This is one that I think is a really good investment. These Treasure Cup cards, these top 8 regionals cards, I mean, these are cards that aren't going to, you know, just come back out and get reprinted, or aren't going to go up in population as people that have bought a lot of sealed product open up boxes and stuff like that. So for my personal feelings, I've been trying to consolidate more of my collection into these type of cards. You know, mangas, event cards. Mangas, obviously, as sets get reprinted and as people open more sealed product, the population does increase on them, but the hit rate on them is so low that you're not going to see like a really, really large population increase on them the way that you will on, like, you know, some of these SPs, alt arts, etc., that are, you know, from really popular sets like OP05, OP13, OP9, 11, etc. I think these kinds of cards are really, really good. These championship cards, stuff like this, the Sanj, well, these aren't even real listings. But these kinds of cards with like the, you know, textured, outer texture, the Shanks, Offline Regional Season 2 here. This is pretty nuts. This is, I mean, these are listed insanely high. Like, nobody is buying this for this. But, like, yeah, if you can find one for under $1,000, I think these kind of cards are great. They're going to hold a lot of value. Maybe not the most liquid ever, but, you know, obviously like a Treasure Cup Luffy, like this is fantastic, right? Like, these are moving pretty quickly. It looks like on the 17th, there was a big buyout of this, around $1,700. That makes sense. I mean, it's a tournament card, it's highly limited, it's a Luffy. That makes sense to me. Some of these like lower priced mangas too, I think still have some way up to go. Like, I like this OP10 Law manga here. I'm a fan of this. Near mint, 1K, 1.1K, 1.5 for a PSA 10. Like, I think this is good. I think this is a cool card. So I personally, I'm on the lookout for some of these lower tier mangas. The Soga King, that's way too much. 2K I think is way too much. 13, 15, I mean, I don't hate that. I think that's a little high, but, you know, I don't think it's bad. This Sabo manga, these Sabo mangas to me, I think are in a spot where, well, maybe not at 1,500, but like around 1,000, 1,200. This one or the OP13 Sabo, I think these are in a spot where, if we continue to see growth in the market, which it seems like we are, these guys are in a pretty good spot. I think you probably go for these sooner rather than later, right? Because unless you want to wait for a reprint and see, like, I don't know if we're going to see sets like OP04 or OP10 get reprints, though. You know, going in on the OP13 Sabo, that was like a risky play on my part. I'm starting to think that the demand is in a place right now where even if they reprint, like we've seen reprints in the past, it's a very, very small dip when we see reprints. Unless they like rev up whole new factories or something, I'm not sure how much impact on stuff like mangas, you know, having reprints is going to be right now. The Buggy, lowest at 17. Most recent set, yeah, I mean, don't buy this at 17. This is more, you should be able to find this for under 1,000, I think. But, you know, maybe not. Maybe now is the time. So, okay. We've done our little look over the mangas. Now I do want to go back and talk some more about OP14 specifically. We already looked at this buggy, right? This gold buggy holding really strong at close to 3K. The Mihawk going for around 14. Silver buggy is seeing like a nice rise though. So if I was going to try to invest into a higher value OP14 card, I feel like if you can find one of these for around this like 13 to 15, 12 to 15 100 range here. 15 is a little high. I mean, this is somebody with no feedback on 11 sales. Alpha Rips has it at 16. That feels high, but it might still be worth it, honestly. This card, I think, is going to do really well. The other big one to me is definitely the Zoro with Sanji in the background. I think if you get this near mint, I mean, we've seen this go all the way up to 1300. It was at, last time we looked at this, the high sales were more around like 800 or 900. I mean, this is a really, really nice card here. It's got, two kind of fan favorite characters here. Really, really beautiful art. Really like pivotal moment in the story, right? The like comeback to Sabaody Archipelago after the time skip. Obviously, this to me still seems crazy. I don't like this SP all that much. I haven't seen it in person. Maybe in person I'll see it and it'll like blow me away. But to me, compared to the other two SPs, it's strange to me to see that this is just gaining momentum and staying above like 1200 just seems crazy to me. 1000, like even it being at 1000 seems like a lot, but seeing consistent sales in the 1100 range here, staying over 1K, like I don't know, this makes me nervous. This feels like it's still in that new set hype bubble, maybe potentially. I could be totally wrong, but this feels crazy to me. And I feel like I can't tell if it's collector driven here, if this is like long-term value here, or this is being driven up by like the playability of the Boa deck, or just like the current Boa big hype of, her being like the kind of poppin' female character in One Piece right now, since we haven't gotten any like really crazy Nami cards. This is one I predicted. I think this is like your safest bet out of the set here. I still think this is a really safe bet. Look at this, we've only seen massive growth, 66% growth already, right? So we look at this, we're seeing consistent sales at 400. Just today we've gone from 400 near mint up to 440. $40 increase, less than 24 hours. This is a card that is going to do really well over time, I think. This manga event style, we've seen in the past that these debut much lower than their actual value. So as the time goes on past the set, these increase a lot in value, and they are consistently undervalued when they come out. You look at stuff like the Gum Gum Giant, you look at stuff like, pretty much all the PRB2 manga events, the Shanks event, even the Buggy event, and we see that very consistent pattern happening, right? So to me, I think this is one of your safer plays here. It might not be the highest, like top single card, but I feel like if you're looking for a kind of mid-level OP14 investment, this to me seems like the very obvious choice. This Perona SP I also thought would do better out of the mid-range SPs. It looks like that is continuing to be the case. We had a dip there for a little while, and now it's coming back up. I told y'all in the OP14 pre-release thing, wait for the pre-release prices to go down and then buy the dip on some of these mid-range SPs. I think that was the correct play. If you did that, you're probably feeling pretty good right now. This guy, this Mihawk, I don't like this Mihawk very much. If you bought this at like less than 300, that's probably not bad. I don't know about this card. This might be another one where its meta relevancy is propping it up to some degree. This leader here, feels crazy to me. It's an alt art leader. Like these are supposed to be very playable cards. These are not massive collector cards. So we're seeing this get hit on the boa hype here. I don't know about this. I mean, it is a nice looking alt art leader, but it seems a little crazy to me for it to be that high. Same deal here with the normal, you know, the SR alt art. I do at least understand why this card is so high. It's because if you open OP14, this SR Boa is like short printed like crazy. Just the normal one. I've opened, I think, 2 boxes plus a third box like worth of sleeve boosters. Probably about 20 sleeve boosters. I've never even seen the normal SR of this card. So to me, that tells me this is, you know, absurdly short printed. And then on top of how small the short print of this SR is taking up, it's alted on top of that. So this card's been very like artificially pumped by Bandai. I don't like that. If OP15 is like this because it also has the EB set included, not a fan. I don't like the way they're doing that. This Kid and Killer SP has dropped 30% here. This, to me, this is definitely one of your better bets for like a mid-range SP. This is a card that's very, very meta relevant. It's a block 2, so it's still going to be good for another year. I think in the next year, you see this big dip here. This one comes back up over the next few months, and you do pretty well on this. That's my opinion. The Captain Kid here, you're seeing it come back up a little bit. I don't like this card. I do actually. I think the art actually is pretty cool, but yeah, no. I haven't seen any real playability out of this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll see support. It is something that makes this make sense, but I don't like this card personally. The Mihawk leader is weird to me that this is still as high as it is here. I feel like this should have dropped. This should be like a $70 card. This is like a textbook definition $70 card right here. The fact that it's still $90 is kind of baffling to me, and it's still selling very consistently at $90. So, yeah, I don't really understand why. I guess, I mean, I know it's a very in-demand, meta-relevant leader. I guess, like, Mihawk hype is just high right now, but yeah, that's a weird one. The Weevil SP, this is a pretty good one, I think. This will probably come up in the future if we see any kind of, you know, Warlord blue swarmy kind of stuff come back. This is a very, very good card in Dofi. Vanilla stat line with draw 1 on play is just, it's very simple, but it's strong. And this is a solid art. So the rest of this stuff, I think we're starting to see stabilize a little more. Yeah, like this Law Leader, I mean, this has massively dropped. Like I said, it was going to. Most of these cards have seen a decent drop. Perona, this card's insane, so it might not drop too much. Vivi, obviously you've got some big Vivi fans out there. The Crocodile, this is coming down like 25%. That makes sense. This treasure rare, this has dropped like 50%. I don't know what's up with this treasure rare, but like everybody's getting this thing. As far as treasure rares go, this is like one of the most overpopulated ones I've seen. And there's even like cases that I've seen that have multiples in them. Anybody, if you go and watch Min Hootie on YouTube, he's one of my friends from around the area, and his case like had 2 of these in it and not the guaranteed SP he was supposed to get. So like, I don't know if there's multiple error cases that are just overpopulated with these treasure rares, but yeah, it's weird. And then the rest of the stuff has like dropped pretty harshly. I do really like this. I really like this Egghead Dawn. This is actually going up, so that's really interesting. I think as far as like Gold Dawn from the set, I like this. I'm looking for one of these. If anybody has one of these you want to sell me, sell it to me. I really want this Egghead Dawn. I think this is a great Gold Dawn. But yeah, the top cards of this set are not really behaving the way they should be. And then obviously if we go to sealed products, I mean, seeing the current booster box price on this is starting to come down, but we will see. General sealed, I'm gonna go past the super high-end stuff because, you know, that stuff we kind of know consistently how it performs. We are at over 1K on these OP-05 single booster boxes now, and they are selling at over 1K every single day. This is now a $1,000 booster box here for OP-05, and I do not know if we should expect to see significant reprints of this. You might see Bandai official stores and official events have some of this available to, you know, people who are attendees or players, or people who go to, you know, official stores like the official Bandai store in Texas. But they have officially announced that they are not going to be giving out any of the product at those types of stores and events without cutting seals. I mean, at events they've been cutting seals, but you're not going to see an increase of like the total population of these sealed boxes coming from any of those kinds of places. So I'm not really sure how much this comes down. Maybe it does come down somewhat, but I won't expect there to be like a dramatic decrease of price on this. So yeah, I think we're in a world where a box of OP-05 now costs $1,000, and people seem to expect it to continue going up, and that's why they're buying it. PRB-01 is quickly approaching that point too, right? We're seeing 920, 920, 920. Lots of sales at 920. You know, previously, earlier last week, it was selling at around like 850. Yeah, the next one on that path seems to be PRB-01. And then right there behind that, EB-01 moving at this $850, $860, $870 price. Pretty crazy. I think with EB, people know these are sets that just don't get reprints. So there's like inherent value to just having sealed boxes of this, right? We've got Pillars of Strength going on a kind of insane run here. I did not really expect OP-03 to pop off like this. Maybe this is just a pattern we're going to start seeing with Block 1 sets as we get closer to rotation, but it is odd that specifically 03 is kind of going on this run like that, when, like, to me, like, I would look at these early sets and look at 02. I would have expected OP2 to do a little more movement in comparison to OP3. Like, if OP3 and OP4 are running up like this, I would have expected to see OP2 also kind of running up like this, just like almost purely off that Ace manga. I will say this set does have some nice depth to it, right? You've got the Boa SP, which is you know, around $1,000 now. Yeah, 988. See, like this makes sense. If that other BOA SP, if that new BOA SP is going for over $1,000, that card really should be over $1,000. This set should be seeing significant movement. You know, you got the Manga Sabo moving at around 1,500. The Law SP. You got cool SPs. There's people who really like this SP style. I'm personally not a fan of this SP style, but you do have people who really like it. And then like you compare that to, you know, the where's the other BOA SP? Should be right under it. And yeah, you see this other BOA SP hanging out around 900 as well. I honestly think this should be higher. Like, I think this SP is still undervalued. This card to me is the texturing, this background, I think is so much cooler than the new one, because this heart, like, it's not just hearts. Like, it is just hearts, but if you know what the character's ability is, her ability is like to take over people's hearts. She's so beautiful. She shoots you with like the heart beam, and it turns you to stone. It paralyzes you. So this is reflective of like what her actual power is, which to me I think makes it cooler than just being like a random abstract background, which is kind of how I feel about the other one. OP13. Oh my god, we're up to 700 on OP13 boxes now. Lowest listed, and they are selling 650, creeping up from 650 to 690 by the end of today. This is really nuts. And I think some of this is like maybe the Mr. Beast Logan Paul thing. That's a whole other video I gotta make, talking about, you know, like the investor bro influencer kind of people running this setup. But you know, I mean, it is a fact we all have to acknowledge that we got Logan Paul on camera buying up cases of this set, right? So there's a whole audience of people out there that probably don't care about One Piece that are jumping onto buying up this set specifically because they saw it in a Logan Paul video. EBO2 kind of settling back down. We had this crazy jump up to 600 here, and now we've kind of come back down to 550. I think you buy this set now. Like, I don't think this is going to stay this way. This is not a reprintable set. Dude, if you've got the money laying around, I would be investing into EBO2 for sure. Like, no question. This is 100% going to go up to the same level that EBO1 is at in another year or two. It's got the Gear 2 in it. We've already seen, you look at that growth on the Gear 2 manga, it's quickly rising to be one of the greatest mangas in the game, right? And I was actually talking with one of my friends who's a card show guy, grading guy, like really in here. A couple of my friends, and we were looking at the PSA 10 like population of Gear 5 Luffys versus Gear 2 Luffys. The Gear 2 Luffy is a much, much rarer card. Almost half the population. A little more than half the population of the Gear 5. So this set is going to increase in value 100%. Not financial advice, but like, yeah, it's gonna happen. 06, doing about how you expect. 11, doing about how you'd expect. I don't know what this, I guess just none sold today. Selling a lot at 400. Feels a little crazy, feels lottery ticket, but I do get it. BRB 02, steadily rising. This is the other one I think you invest in, for sure. At 300. Yeah, those are kind of the vibes on sealed. I mean, 2 legends still really shouldn't be this high. Are people really buying these? Like, yeah, people are buying these, but I don't think people who really know what they're doing are buying these. I think people who are having a lot of FOMO just want to get in on something. People with a lot of FOMO and not a lot of money. Like, I'm sorry, if you're investing in OP08, I'm not trying to insult you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in the future it ends up being a sleeper. But to me, it really does feel like the people who are driving OP08 up to these prices are people with a whole lot of FOMO and not a lot of money to like buy into real sets. I would not be investing in OP08. I would invest in OP10 way before I invest in OP8. Right? Like, at least you got the law manga. OP12, to me, this is still undervalued. Like, if you want to get in and you don't want to spend a ton of money, buy OP12. I mean, it's not a great set, but it's like a set with some actual stuff going on. You know, you've got a really good manga alt event here, right? Great event here. A really good crusted gold and silver SP. A manga that I think here is pretty undervalued, and it's starting to come up. We're seeing that Bonnie come up to around the 1K range, which I think is like really where it should be. For near mint, it should be around 1K. This is a decent set. Like, people are really still asleep on this set. So yeah, the idea that OP08 is valued higher than OP12 is ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. For just some other little random stuff here as far as singles go, this EBO2 Luffy, I mean, more evidence that EBO2 is just going to keep popping off, going crazy. We're up to almost 1K on these. Very, very quickly closing in on 1K near mint raw. It's going to keep going up. There's no question on that in my mind. That is one that's going to keep going up. And something really wild to see is that this SP hitting really, really high highs now. I mean, selling for almost $900. Near mint's at almost $800. Whoever bought it at $900, that's crazy. But like, pretty insane growth on this card, this SP here. Obviously, you know, again, PRB2, Luffy SP up to like 500. Really, really wild growth here. I just sold one of these. I know I've talked about this before. The Gear 5 alt art from OP05 continuing to just go on an absolutely absurd run. Near mint foil up to $320. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I do regret announcing the giveaway for that card. We have officially entered the range where I do honestly regret it. I thought it would be a card that people would really like to see a giveaway on. I didn't think it would be that good of a card to be giving away, but I will honor it. I told y'all I was going to do it, and I am still going to do it. That being said, I'm giving y'all a little bit extra time. Definitely going to try to get the juice out of that thing. These wanted posters are seeing solid growth. Near mints approaching 300. We had kind of a period where wanted posters exploded and then kind of cooled back off. I think we're like seeing the kind of like coming back upswing from that correction that happened there. This seems like more kind of how I would expect the growth pattern on these to be going. This makes sense to me. It doesn't feel like fake or anything the way that it kind of did when it first popped off. These, okay, so if you have these and you want to take profit on them soon for these Bandai Convention Luffys, I believe these are going to see another wave coming out very soon. If you want to take profit on them, now is the time to do it, unless you plan to hold them for over a year or more for the next year. Some of these anniversary leaders, other than the Luffy leader, I think are like in a good spot to probably buy. I'm probably going to buy up some of those to myself. Uso Hachi is really coming back pretty hard here. That one's up to you. I don't know how I feel about that one. This Luffy treasure rare is a weird one. I know it's increasing in value pretty well and it's still fairly affordable, but like I don't see anybody who actually wants to buy these. I've tried to sell mine a couple times and like, you know, to within the internal aspect of the community. I didn't like list it on eBay or anything, but as far as like vendors and stuff go, nobody sees these moving off their tables. Nobody wants to buy more of them because of that. Again, these manga events, I think there's like this Divine Departure, the OP10 Divine Departure. This is really good. A lot of these lower tier 100 or less, you know, alt events, manga events, whatever you want to call them. The Boof Burst, like I think a lot of these are in a good spot where I expect to see a lot of people picking them up and then the price kind of going up. So definitely good stuff to invest in my opinion. I have been kind of trying to get like one of each of all of those. I think the Buggy, this is dipping, this is second anniversary leader. I would snag that. I'll probably snag that myself here pretty soon. Stuff like the Fire Fist, Red Hawk, these kind of ones that are like starting to slow down a little bit. I'm going for these. OP11 manga event. Any of these cheaper manga events, pretty much any manga event under $100. I'm just trying to buy them whenever I see them. We're starting to see the upward movement on this Rob Lucci. I've been saying for basically a month now that this Rob Lucci is super undervalued. It was around $60 not too long ago. We're starting to see that creep up to like 100. This makes sense. Like this should be at least a $100 card. I don't know how much more it goes up, but that was a insanely undervalued card previously. So if you jumped on that, I think you're... What is my cat doing? Alright, I know. You want me to show you off? Alright. Cat guest appearance. He's here. Say hi. Hello. Okay. Honesty Impact. This thing being as cheap as it is, I know it's not like the best manga event ever, but I say buy it up. Not financial advice, just my opinion. I think you go for it. Oh yeah, another really good one. This PRBO1 Luffy card. This OP01 Luffy. I think this is a really obvious snag right now. I think this one's kind of getting slept on at like sub $50. Pretty obviously going to come up. It's an OP01 card, and the reprint of it is a PRB01 reprint. So obviously it's not as rare as the original OP01 alt, but like PRB01 is up there too already. So you got these illustration boxes now. These came out really hot. They've been falling since. I still think these probably go up in the future, right? We've seen these Sanji and Puddings rising. Again, anything EBO2, it's just going to go up. It really is like just going to go up. PRBO2, Zoro. If this is dipping right now, I think this is probably a good one to grab. Again, the Sabo, these kind of like the fake manga here. I think just any of these OP13 Three Brothers ones. These could come down as people open more OP13, and if we get an OP13 reprint, it's definitely possible. One final last like underrated kind of little single that I think you might want to pick up if you're, you know, want to get in on some of the BOA hype. If you haven't been able to get any OP14, you can't get that BOA event, you can't get any BOA SPs, you don't want to spend the money for something super crazy. This OP07 BOA alt art, I think this is a really, really nice. Again, I like the ones where we have the texturing of the hearts here. This card in person, like these hearts as she's shooting out the beam, it's like all textured, like coming out of her hands. It looks really nice. This one to me, I think is pretty underrated. If you want to have some BOA stocks, I think at the current rate this is going for of around $35, you're seeing a lot of movement on this because I think people know, okay, what are cheaper, more accessible BOA cards that have like, you know, arts that are going to be appealing long term, good texturing, etc. And I would say skip that OP13 BOA and go for this one because this is also from an older set. You're not going to see it getting opened a bunch as people like rip hella OP13 for, you know, their whatnot streams or content or whatever on YouTube. I think this is a really solid one for $35. I mean, you see like good movement on it. It was down sub 20 2 months ago up to averaging around 30, 35. I think this is a good one if you want to get something a little bit on the more budget side. All right, y'all. Well, with that, I will see you in the next one. I will be announcing the giveaway winner within either tomorrow or the next day, most likely. Definitely before the end of the month, 100%. Get in your last likes, comments, subscribes on this. I'm going to be going through, I'm going to be doing a comment check for every video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly select a comment from every video. I'm going to put all those people into a pool. I'm going to check every single one of your names, make sure everyone's subscribed. If I find that somebody hasn't been subscribed that won the comment for that particular video, they're going to get disqualified. I'm going to re-roll that video until I find somebody that I can check and make sure has subscribed to the channel. And then once I do that, I'm going to do a raffle from all of those names for each video. We'll all have a fair shot. I'm going to make sure across all the videos I've done since I first announced the giveaway, and I'm going to put everyone into a singular final raffle, and then I will record the results of that raffle being picked, and I will post that as a mini video announcement, like giveaway winner announcement. All right, well, thank y'all for tuning in. As always, appreciate all your support, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.